Hello, hope everyone's okay. It's a bank holiday weekend. It's a Sunday. Not been doing much today. Had a few family members around. Bit of a cold Sunday, so I'm just in the attic actually. I'm just running a few trains and doing a few the next project which I'm going to be working on, which I'll show in a minute. I'm just running some works trains, which is the yellow Locomotive Tiger livery locomotive, which is just coming round now. I'll just duck under the baseboard a minute just to show it in a little bit more detail coming through on the through the yard underneath the crane around the back end of the turntable. This is a really nice loco. It is very, very cheap. A very cheap loco. I think it's about 130 quid brand new. And it's an absolutely superb runner. Lots of detail. And that's running the ballast wagon, pickup wagon, and some other maintenance vehicles running up behind it there with the cement mixer, which is in operation, spinning slowly. That's just working its way out onto the outer, going through this junction now, through all these points. So it's been through 1, 2, 3, third set of points, through a double slip, through another double slip, and through a left-hander, I think it is. I get mixed up sometimes, there's quite a lot of points. So that one's working its way out, and now that's just crossing that junction. And the automations give go ahead for this other works train to come out, which I've had running on the last video. So that's going to work its way out onto the third inner main line, and I've added a small Fleischmann crane on the back of that, on the back of this train, and a couple of other little shuffles around on the wagons. I've just manipulated and changed a few around. I've got a ballast hopper wagon. The maintenance telemetry coach is on the very back end of it now. And that is a heavy coach. And that seems to be working alright. Sometimes you can have problems working certain different types of wagons depending on the weight load on the couplings. You can have problems. So we've got all the clearance now for these two trains. I'll just build up speed. And go back onto the well, they're on the main lines now anyway, so yeah, so it's an easy day messing around on a layout. So I've got these other two, which they're all on standby there. I've changed the loads on the back of that train quite, a few, swapped a couple of loads out. I took the Tiger tank off on the mini U-boat and swapped them for some interesting loads there, and also added I think I added that pipe load. There's a pipe load there I've added, so there's a lot of unusual industrial loads on that train, especially that one there, quite unusual. So there we go, we've got the Tiger running into the tunnel. So there we go, that's what's happening there. So the next project I'm going to be working on, model train wise, is going to be, I'll just show it now. Let's put the camera onto the mount. Let's get a bit more light. Let's go into widescreen. There we go. So what I've got here is this really nice class V36 102 from Brawa. So I paid 49 quid for it, really cheap. Took a chance because it's second hand, don't know what I was going to get involved with here. So there we go, comes in an ice cube box, couplings, and there's quite an unusual tool on this. There's like a little long screwdriver of some sort. I'm not exactly sure what that's for. Got a massive instruction sheet which opens up multiple times. Let's have a look at this now, see if we can right, so this has been messed around with in the past. It's had little I've had it out before, but it's had an item glued on the side here which I've taken off. So I'm trying to see if I can get that little etching plate sign which was there. I might even glue it back on, I don't know, but there's only one of those little etch plates on one side, and it's quite a nice bit of detail on that. And we've had a broken handle which has been glued back in on the front. I've got to tidy that up. So what I'm going to do is take this apart. It's an absolutely stunning Loco, really is. Detail on it is amazing. I'm going to try and take this apart now and see how to get into it, and see what sort of chip it is. Let's have a look. Right, so this instruction manual is absolutely huge. So to get the body off, 4 screws on the underside. This is it's actually in different languages, this instruction sheet, which is absolutely enormous. It just keeps opening up and going up. It's really good because it shows you it's a complete breakdown of the actual Loco, which is really good, and it's printed on both sides. It's got all the setups for different decoders, etc. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a really tiny screwdriver, and in fact I'm going to have to go even smaller on there. I'm going to have to get a really micro one. See if I've got one. I'm going to have to go micro tip on this because it's so precise. So there's one screw there, so I'll undo that. And there's one up the front. Then there's another up front at the other side, which is
Can I use your computer?
there. Bear with me, I'm recording some of it. There's one screw there. And there's another screw there, so we've got 4 screws. There we go. So now, being very careful because there's a lot of fine detail on this, that should just lift off. One of the screws has dropped out, so let's have a look at this. Got micro LED cab light there, all the micro LEDs for the lighting, red and white. It's really well done, this. So what we're going to do is take out that chip extremely carefully. Probably gonna have to ease that out carefully on the using a bladed screwdriver. So I'll get a bladed screwdriver, just carefully manipulate that analog chip out on both sides. You've got to be careful not to bend the pins when you're doing this. nearly there. There we go. One more on the other side and that should be out. There we go. Almost. There we go. So it's an odd chip this. Yeah, we got a Plux 22 chip there, so that's a blanking analog plate, so that works fine in analog. So I'm going to install an ESU lock pilot Plux 22, although it could have a lock sound chip in there, micro or something. You could put a small cube speaker in that slot there, a very small speaker. And then you could put a driver standing up in there, in that area. So we might do that. So that looks nice. Very, very intricate body. You got the steps which pull off. You got to make sure you reconnect the steps. A very fine grille, really fine. Cab lighting is really well done. Right, so I've been interrupted about 3 times doing this video for various reasons, but anyway, I've got an ESU chip ready to go in here. So Plux 22. Break the seal on the box, and let's get this out. Plux 22 just drops straight in. Nice and easy. I'm not going to program, I'm just going to leave everything default on this. So there we go, that's in. Might add a figure, see if I can find a figure from somewhere. So I found a figure, and I'm just going to use some Copydex glue to install on the soles of his shoes. Tiny bit on either side. Just leave that for a minute to go off. Wipe the residue off on the screwdriver, and then we should be ready to go. I'll stick him in. I shouldn't really be doing it on good screwdrivers, but this stuff peels off when it's set very easily. So that's the beauty of it, because it's rubberized glue and it doesn't damage plastic. So you can reposition figures very nicely. In fact, I might just bob him in there now. There we go, like that. Let that set. Because they wouldn't have had any seats, I don't think, in this logo. Maybe they did, I don't know, in this shunter, I'm not sure. It doesn't look like there's any seating. Right, so that's, we'll leave that until after tea, when I get my tea now, and come back and rebuild that, get it on the test track. Right, so I've got it on the DCC Concepts rolling road. Logged it onto the ECOS. It's scanning for the chip, as you can see there, M4. It scanned the chip, press the M4 icon on the control cab, and it should auto load. Yeah, so I've not installed what it is, but it's come up as a Lot 5v5 lock pilot. So then, when, there we go, let's see what this works like. Nice and smooth. Very nice. See if we can get the cab light. That's very smooth. As you can see there, beautiful. Speed step 1, speed step 2, Speed step 1. Wow, that is unbelievable. Must have a really high quality motor on board this model. Yeah, it's working really nice, that is. Right, so got this configured now. So front light is 1, auxiliary 2 brackets 1 is rear light 1, auxiliary 1 brackets 2 is a front red light, and we've got auxiliary 3 is a cab light. So that's all set up and working now. So I'll just power that up. Yeah, so you got your white marker lights going in reverse, red marker lights going obviously going in the reverse direction, and the cab light. That's all working nice. Yeah, so that's all done. I'll get that on the layout in the next video.